is the latest that we're getting you. Now, more than 100 people gathered in downtown Columbus demanding that Immigration and Customs Enforcement leave Central Ohio following a deadly shooting involving an ICE agent in Minnesota. Demonstrators filled the streets, chanting slogans such as "No ICE, no police," and "Get ICE off our streets," saying recent immigration enforcement actions locally and nationwide have left immigrant communities living in fear. Protesters say they plan to continue demonstrating until ICE operations end in Columbus. Let's listen in. I have Aditya Vidhavan joining me. Aditya, a lot of unrest there in the US. What more can you tell us?
Well, absolutely. There is definitely a lot of unrest in the USA. Post this killing of this women, 37-year-old women, Rini Nicole Good, and definitely post that, there has been a definitely, as soon as I see the Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent had shot this women in Minnesota, a lot of anger has been against, has risen amongst the American population against this hard immigration stance that the Trump administration has. And definitely now, they're calling the IC agency across America as terrorists. So indeed, Vishali, from here on, there is, there is an instability that's flowing across the various cities of the United States. And definitely this is not looking so very good, because once if the American people come on the streets, then there has to be a decisive step. And, even the US now, US Congress, if you see, is looking forward to move a resolution to curb Trump's war power. So indeed, a lot of instability and something not undesirable happening in the United States at this juncture. And the international community, there has been a complete disruption in the global world order, post Trump's attack on Venezuela. So indeed, at this juncture, the situation is very, very tense, and it needs to be seen how things unfold going forward from here. Vishali.
All right, Aditya, stay on with me. Now, in more developments coming in, massive crowds have gathered in Dallas City, Texas, to protest the killing of Rini Nicole Good by an ICE agent in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Protesters hold banners and chant slogans against the ICE, demanding the federal agency to leave the city. Let's listen in.
Justice for Renee! 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 Say it loud! Justice for Renee! 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 Justice for Renee!
Aditya, justice for Renee is what the protesters are saying. What more can you tell us?
Well, absolutely. This shooting in Minnesota, this 37-year-old woman by the IC agent is now rapidly. These protests will also spread to many other cities of America. Now, these protests have, have spread to the Dallas in America, and definitely it is expected from here on there will be a huge anger against this hard immigration policies. This is like what we can think about it, Vaishali. Definitely, this sort of killing is definitely a well-planned killing. It's a targeted killing. This is being like giving free hand to the IC agents, which is not desirable. So at this juncture, these protests are expected to come up against the IC officials across the United States, and definitely there are sections among the Democrats, that want Kristi Noem, who happens to be the head of the Department of Homeland Security in the U.S., to resign immediately. So at this juncture, a lot of these violent incidents are coming from the United States, and definitely at that juncture also President Trump is talking about attacking other nations. So indeed, this could have some catastrophic consequences for the entire globe. Vishali.
All right, Aditya, stay on with me. Now, Seattle also witnessed the massive anti-ICE protests after a woman named Renee Good was shot and killed by ICE agents in Minnesota, Minneapolis. Hundreds of protesters have all come together to protest against the ICE. Let's listen in.
White supremacists! He's a white supremacist! Donald Trump is full of shit! He's a white supremacist! He's a white supremacist! ICE, STD! They all look like pigs to me! They all look like pigs to me! They all look like pigs to me!
All right, protests now in Seattle. Aditya, what more would you like to add to that?
Well, absolutely, Vaishali, this protest in Seattle against the killing of Rennie Nicole Good has definitely now sparked a widening criticism of how the ICE operate under the Trump administration. Trump administration has given some wild orders. The way in which Rennie was killed by this ICE agent shows the fact that this was one of the targeted killing. This was specifically planned. How has this happened? These killings are. How did this ICE agent kill, an innocent citizen? And, as per some reports, this, as was being claimed by the ICE agent that, this woman named Rini tried to run over this ICE agent. However, it was the other way around. As per some reports, she was the 37-year-old woman was involved in the community activities, her daily routine, and when this incident happened when the ICE agent had shot this woman. So indeed, at this juncture, there is a large, widespread anger against immigration policies of the Trump administration, and from here on, several, not just Seattle and Dallas, several other American cities, these protests will now spread like wildfire, if we talk about, because this is something unprecedented that has happened. It's a watershed event because nothing of this sort has ever happened in the United States of America, whichever government, whether the Republicans were there or Democrats were there. Vishali.
Stay with me, Aditya. Now, US Vice President J.D. Vance has urged European leaders to take President Donald Trump seriously on Greenland, citing growing interest in the region.